गर्मी है, बीच बीच में बारिश होती है तो गर्मी और बढ़ जाती है, यही है। Shall we start? Please.
Welcome to Samprit University and Dr. Ashutosh Mohan from BHU RNC. Secondary Joseph and Hariharan sir and all my colleagues and faculty. A warm welcome to you for the Viva Voce. Samprit joined with us in 2016 and is the dean of IBS. Now, please present after that. Time limit is 30 minutes for your presentation. Sir, with your permission.
Yes, please.
Can I start?
Please.
Good morning. So, the topic is factors influencing rural non-farm employment and quality of employment. This will be the agenda for the presentation. First, I will be presenting on the action which I will take in the respective listeners meet. Then I will talk about the introduction, then move on to the future. We talk about research methodology, analysis, results, discussions, and conclusions and acknowledgements. Let me first check out the most important thing that we got the input from respected examiner one, where the comment was a construct of non-farm employers, not many people working in books, parents, custodians, villages. People posted in the Santa Column initiatives. As per the construct for non-farm employment, which has been given by the National Sample Survey, they have clearly mentioned which are the occupations which are to be included for non-farm activities. So we have followed that indeed. So in that way, the people working in posts are not part of the non-farm activities. The second point was the research contribution and contribution is started on the quality of employment and the research objectives. We are incorporating detailed analysis in the section 5.1.1 and 5.1.3. These numbers are also given.
Good.
Where the linkages with the research objectives have been established. Subsequently, to understand the implications of the quality of employment and its levels, following sections have also been developed with reference to the linkages that have been mentioned. The next comment was the sampling could have been improved and sample size could have been made better. The problem was there is no such availability of the sampling frame. That's the reason why we have to go for a full-scale sampling method. The first two cases we opted for the purpose sampling because we need to identify those who are actually involved in the non-farm activity.
Right.
So that was the first two stages were purpose and then the simple random sampling was applied. The last comment was the construct would have been improved. We had to restrict ourselves not to develop the construct from the literature review that we did, and also the results which are written after the reliability and the validity test. We got the report from another respected examiner. Will the digital initiative influence the research construct? Advice in that case, but we didn't capture the digital initiative, but what we felt that this initiative might have an impact on the construct, supportive role of the government. So, but that was a variable the numbers are in the final. That effect might be there, but we would particularly have to take it up with further research. What were the rationales for choosing secondary data in 2011 only? Now, census data is most validated data over all the million of non-farm employment, which is happening across India and across the states. 21 census has not yet been constructed. So we are restricted only to refer to the 2011 census data. The purpose of including table 1.15 and 1.16, here we try to represent what is the scenario of non-farm employment earnings across India and what is the position of West Bengal. So compared to India and the 16 major states, table 1.5 and table 1.16 summarizes West Bengal's position. Here we can see that West Bengal has a share of about 7% of total India's population. But rural revenue from the primary UPSS population, rural farm sector is about 6%, while the share is more than 9% for rural farm sector. This has been included in the thesis also. One of the statement as the study is based on census as well as primary data on page number 37 refers to. We primarily depend on the census to understand the incidences of non-farm employment, in fact, the diversification from farm sector employment to non-farm sector across India. So that we started therefore census data. Now, to understand the incidence of non-farm employment, in the study, we have to depend on the primary side, primary data. That's the reason why the study is based on census, the secondary data to capture the overall picture as well as the primary data. How the researcher measured the quality of employment with possible dimensions. The quality of employment with possible dimensions are measured using the relevant method. We identify the relevant variables that describe the quality of non-farm employment using differentiability and focus group is further tested using the standard reliability and variability study. The factor analysis was conducted to identify those variables that are relevant for the specific study. The next observation was the impact measurement of the independent variable on the dependent variable with proper context validation. How did the researcher ensure the same in the present research? In the present study, we tried to address whether any difference of opinion exists among the respondents of the two districts in terms of the identified variables and measure the quality of non-farm employment. What on the impact of measurement of the independent variable on the dependent variable? Definitely, it's a very good suggestion. We definitely incorporate that in the further research. We incorporate that in because our primary study was to compare the quality of employment in the rural non-farm sector within the two districts. Whether the researcher conducted pilot study, definitely we conducted pilot study, and the variables were identified. I would like to be happy to know that our pilot study results were published in a paper which was listed in the UGC. So we did the pilot study and we got that also published. Why did the researcher opt for three factors, which only 53% of the years explained? Despite the fact that 5 factors could be possibility, which could be established through variance explained, as well as through the people. Now, here what we about that in the factor analysis, it was observed that if the study is conducted with the help of 5 factors, then cross loadings were happening. There is a variable associated immediately with the factors. The screen plot, if you refer to the screen plot, the first phase is happening with the third factor. As the brain in the curve is observed after factor 3. Considering these two cases, we decided to measure 3 factors. Although initially the variance explained part was less, 53%, but after the removal of the unwanted variables, the variance explained part increased to 77.52%. The modified result is there in table 3.1 page number 186. The next solution was, the next comment was, what is the researcher opinion for CA after GA? Now, this was my understanding of the two entire CA. We contacted EA and not opted for CA. I might be wrong because the research objectives were developed to identify the significant difference of opinion among the respondents in the study. The model will be contacted, check the relationship among the variables using amounts. However, the selection is to be acknowledged and the research. Obstacle seems despite the fact that 5.5 scale, 5.5 scale could utilize for submission. Obstacles were used to compare the results between the two districts. We have also to compare the used cross tabs. In order to capture the responses from the respondents, we had to resort to our process. So these were the comments that we received from the two respective consultants, and we incorporated that. Now let's move on to the presentation of what we have done. We first talk about the a little bit about the introduction of this. Why suddenly a sector that you non-farm sector in the rural economy. Developing economies, it's very important in order to study a developing economy is to study the developing economies development. And what we have seen over the years is agriculture, is found to be the primary source of income for the people in the rural sector. But throughout the world, incidences, throughout the world, incidences, and relying solely on agriculture to address the issue of unemployment was no longer a viable option. Second, we found that traces, incidences of people shifting from rural farm-based activity to rural non-farm-based activity. These were happening across the world. Therefore, diversification from rural farm to non-farm sector is now evident across the world in developing economy. As a result of which, the rural non-farm sector has evolved into a rural employment now. And we found that the same thing has also been happening in India. The NSS level, unit level data captured that. So we thought that let's try to understand for our specific study in India, what are the factors for which this are ultimately affecting the quality of employment. Therefore, there is some data why we selected this and then we will move on. See, this particular figure shows that the average annual growth of rural employment during the two census period was only 0.8%. While the growth rate of RNFE was 5.1%, this gives an indication that rural people are no longer depending on agriculture alone for their livelihood. So there has been a shift, increase. If we look at this particular table, a significant percentage of people, more than 50%, which we want to impact, is dependent on agriculture, but the share of agriculture in employment and GDP shows a downward trend. 93-94 it was 63, 2011-12 it was 53.2. It is evident that more than 50% of the people are still dependent, but their dependence on agriculture is shows a downward trend. If we go by this census-wise, this is the particular. It talks about census-wise as a percentage of GDP. If you find non-agricultural sector, which is not farm, see there has been an increase of 58.9% to 85.9%. So here also we find from the census data, and the same is also being captured in the next table. Non-agriculture has gone up from 26.1% to 51.1%. This particular table shows a significant rise in the number of rural non-farm jobs, municipal and subsidiary status. So, municipal status, 1999-2000 it was 28.9, it went up to 40.86. For the subsidiary status also, it went up from 18.5 to 42.02. This particular state-wise figure shows that major growth in non-farm employment opportunities in Jammu and Kashmir, followed by Goa. Percentage increase in women of workforce in the rural non-farm sector is more than the male one. From these two tables, we got state level data across India. This particular table talks about the asset ownership by household type in terms of percentage. that there is an increase in asset ownership among workers who are engaged themselves in agricultural sector. This is visible after 30 to 40 asset aside. So changes are more visible among the people who have lower asset ownership. Here we are again finding the same in case of the sector was the structure of the rural non-farm employment. We're finding that there has been a shift. This is the non-farm rural wage workers by type of contract. I'm quickly going through this. This is again in terms of the percentage of formal sector, in terms of the non-farm sector. This is the rural non-farm workforce by education in terms of the percentage, mainly illiterate in the non-farm sector. This is the type of technical education, very low in case of non-farm activities. Now let's come back to, let's talk about now, that's a whole India picture. Then what is happening in West Bengal? Now, this particular table you find, you'll be able to see that the growth of non-farm sector economy in West Bengal. The non-farm sector has gone up 54.03%. So in West Bengal also, find that the incidences of diversification from farm to non-farm sector. This particular table has recorded an important gap between men and women in terms of the field of rural workforce percentage rate. For male workforce, the percentage went up from 59.4% at the female workforce. It was from 8.8 to 11.2%. This is the district-wise distribution of the non-farm workforce, male and marginal, in percentage from the census 2001 census year. So district will also we might have the incidences of the non-farm employment. These give us a motivation to go for the further research on this particular domain. So find that sectoral change is always inevitable in case of rural workforce. Generation of employment opportunities in rural sector is always an area of concern for the policy makers. Over the period, it has witnessed that most of the eligible workforce are shifting from agriculture to find alternative livelihoods. As a result of which, the second very important point, rate of migration is also higher on the higher side. The migration always keeps the place of origin more vulnerable when there is a requirement. That it is important to understand what the dimensions are of non-farm employment opportunities. The sectors which should be focused so as to maintain the manpower in the right place. The third, also the quality of employment. See, a lot of skill-based initiatives have been taken for the rural non-farm activities. But an initiative to capture the employment being generated in the rural non-farm sector, what is the quality of it? There is no such structured arrangement which has been done in this. So for that, we also need to understand what is the quality of this employment which is being generated in this rural non-farm sector. So this study covers specific districts of West Bengal where a bipolar growth can be witnessed. The bipolar growth means one district has been identified with the highest growth in non-farm employment and another district has been identified with the lowest growth in non-farm employment. The study is based on census as well as primary data, which has been collected during data collection phase in the selected study districts. Some amount of sampling and non-sampling is a data set. The study covers the non-farm sector, hence any observation in the farm sector has been ignored. Now taking you through some of the literature review, topic-wise literature study on non-farm activities, various countries in the world. So I'm just taking you through a funnel-like approach. So I'm starting from the incidences of the non-farm activities across the world that you want to happening in the state. So these are some of the literature which we found talking about the perspectives of the non-farm activities across the world, and also we could identify which is the relevant to our topic of research. These are some of the summary of findings of the non-farm activities which happened in India. Also, how they are relevant to my topic. These are some of the literature that we covered for West Bengal and how those were relevant for my topic. So from this extensive literature study, we can identify list of the variables which can identify list of variables. This 24 are the list of variables from the literature review. In research gap, the extensive study shows many variations in the field of non-farm sector. The study reveals that the growth of non-farm sector mainly depends on the factors like level of education, engagement with the market, flow of credit, long-term skill training, skill enhancement of the workforce, social interaction, easy availability of raw materials, infrastructure, and many more. Each of these factors have played an important role for the growth of the non-farm sector, but the review identified that one crucial area, that is quality of employment, is totally ignored in the existing literature. We are generating employment, but is it good enough so that the people in the rural non-farm sector will sustain it? That's the issue. So the research question can be developed based on this existing gap. So our research questions will be identify factors creating impact in the study area in terms of generating income opportunities in the non-farm sector, and do the identified factors are able to improve the quality of employment in the study area related to non-farm sectors. So the research objectives were identification of factors that are linked to non-farm income generating opportunities in the study area, to make a comparative study among two study districts to understand how all the factors are able to improve the quality of non-farm employment. Third is to understand the perception of the respondents regarding the role of the factors in improving the quality of non-farm employment in the two study districts. This is our conceptual model, so we have access to productive resource as hypothesis 1, that has been subdivided into sub hypothesis. We have the hypothesis 2, supporting role of government, and the long-term support hypothesis, which of these are divided into second sub hypothesis. Let's now move on to the flowchart. This is the flowchart that we follow. Explorative research of variable identification, sampling plan, question designing, conducting market study, conducting reliability stage, final variable identification and designing the final questionnaire, data collection, and analysis of data. Now, when we move on to the category of workers, we have main workers, supplementary cultivations, agriculture development, household industry workers, and other workers. Marginal workers, cultivators, again, agriculture developers, household industry workers, and other. This is the district-wise non-farm workers. This is the table. Now, if you look at this table, this was obtained from the Bureau of Applied Economics. If you look at this particular table, for each of the districts, we have cultivators, agriculture developers, household industry workers, other workers. In order to calculate the number of workers involved in the non-farm activity, we give cultivators and agriculture developers. We only include household industry workers and other workers. That means these are the two segments of the workers who are not involved in any kind of agricultural activity. So we calculated that both for the main workers and the marginal workers. This was the sampling technique that we followed. Stage 1 selection of the study districts. Obviously, it was a purposive sampling because we wanted to capture the incidences in a bipolar way. Selection of the blocks were also purposive. Selection of the villages were done through the simple random sampling, and selection of household members were also done with the selection. Simple random sampling. These were some of the block-wise distribution of the villages for the districts. This is the list of elected villages from Nokia district. Total number of non-farm workers identified by district. This is from Purulia, and 9928 was the total number of non-farm workers in Purulia district. Now, as we know that there is a standard route for selection of the family, we did that and we identified that the sample size should be 389. So to get adequate representation of the sample respondents from both the districts, decided to this one from India and rest of the Purulia district. Now these were the responses we got from the village-wise responses from Nokia and Purulia. Then we went for the standard reliability test, and the standard reliability test we found out to be We went for this one test, which we found out to be 0.815, and for the number of items, 24,000 can actually identify two variables from the question area. We identified ultimately the final list of variables as 12. So these were the final list of variables with clear factor loading. And we then developed the hypothesis. Hypothesis one, the statement was access to productive resources have an impact on quality of employment in the study districts. Hypothesis two, supported role of public and private sectors has an impact on quality of employment in the study districts. That one, long-term support productive employment has an impact on quality of employment in the study districts. Now, these are some of the descriptive analysis of the study district by distribution of the respondents, Nokia, Korea, and total. This is the gender-wise distribution of the respondents. There is the Korea and Korea. This is the age-wise distribution for the two districts, Nokia, Korea, the natal status, level of education, the monthly household income, district-wise category of non-farm sectors, district-wise results for opting for non-farm employment. Now, let's move on to the testing hypothesis and hypothesis. Stage 1A, there is no significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of the two study districts that level of education has a related quality of employment. The non-hypothesis is that already hypothesis accepted. Observations respondents of the two study districts that level of education quickly the quality of employment and quickly going to the hypothesis. H2A, a significant difference of opinion exists. Among the respondents of two studies, that skill acquisition has a direct link with the quality of employment. Similarly, 3A, the observation is or the conclusion is significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of two study districts. That access to market has a direct link with quality of employment. 4A, the conclusion, a significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of the two study districts that access to credit and a direct link with the quality of employment. The fifth sub-hypothesis is that significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of two study districts. That lack of credit has a direct link with the quality of employment. We move on to the second one, which is supportive role of government and private sectors and impact on employment. The study districts and what the costs of hypothesis. Conclusion was a significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of two study districts that government support to improve access to finance as a direct link with quality of employment. The seventh one, a significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of two study districts. The development of market linkage to technology and the direct link with the quality of employment. We have the eighth sub-hypothesis. No significant difference of opinion exists among the respondents of two study districts. The increased participation in the triple model and the link with the quality of employment. We have the third hypothesis, long-term support clear productive employment and the impact on the quality of employment in the study districts. These are the results for 9 and 10. For the 11th sub-hypothesis, the first one this slide. Then we moved on to measurement of the quality of employment index. Now, what we did actually, we conducted a focus group to understand, what are the weights that they give in on the particular variables. So the parameter, the district and level of education of the workforce, variable 1 in the gross circulation, the result was, the result showed that both the districts are in favor of the variable 1, which is the level of education of the workforce. It can be seen that respondents from Korea district are more in favor of the statement than the respondents from Nokia district. Although both the groups have positive feelings, the level of education helps to improve quality of employment, but respondents from Korea are more inclined towards this factor. The district and skill acquisition variable cost acquisition results suggest that respondents from both the groups believe that skill acquisition is an important factor to improve quality of employment. district level comparison suggests that respondents from Purulia district are more in favor of the statement than the respondents from Purulia district. This means respondents from Purulia district are more fair on this particular factor than the respondents from Purulia district. District and access to market. The results suggest that respondents from both the groups believe that access to market is an important factor to improve quality of employment. District level comparison suggests that the respondents from Purulia district are more in favor of the statement than the respondents from Purulia district. This means respondents from Purulia district have more faith on this particular factor than the respondents from Purulia district. Next to building, the results suggest that respondents from both the groups believe that access to building is an important factor to improve quality of employment. Now, I'll just take 2 minutes of yours. Long back, when I was doing my master's at Calcutta University in 2002, we had to conduct a village survey. I went to a particular district in Murshidabad, which is primarily known for Murshidabad silk. I had the option, chance of visiting the weavers. Now, these weavers in the villages are known as artisans. We could find cooperative banks, non-cooperative banks, all those things were there. Just think of the incidence of this access to credit. These weavers or the artisans, they had to buy this silk from the markets. And the cost of this silk threads at that time was around 1,600. Within 3 months, they will have to give back 2,200. And also, not only that, but also, the finished style product they have to sell with margins. Now, just look at this now, you calculate the rate of interest. Then you will understand that these people will never be able to come out of this debt, in spite of the fact that there were state level cooperative bank will. Then we went to the bank. Surprisingly, all of you know, if you go for a if you have to fill up a form, you have to think more practically. A villager who is illiterate, who is into this kind of a non-farm activity, how can he go to a bank and fill up this form? Here, lies the presence of these Mahajans who stay in this village. They know you, they know your family, they give you the money, and you will never be able to come out of it. So, we have to think on how we can go for this access of to make this access of credit to the particularly to the people of Purulia district also. We are moving into this non-violence. Lack of bidding, the results suggest that respondents from both groups believe that lack of bidding is an important factor which is affecting quality of employment. District level comparison suggests that respondents from Purulia district are more in favor of the statement than the respondents from Purulia district. This means respondents from Purulia district are more faith on this particular factor than the respondents from Purulia. Government support to improve access to finance. This also a district level comparison suggests that respondents from Purulia district are more in favor of the statement than the respondents from Purulia district. This means respondents of Purulia district are more faith on this particular factor than the respondents from Purulia district.
Okay, so then is the development of market linkage. Development of market linkage, we find that the district level comparison suggests that the Purulia district are in favor of the statement and the respondents from Purulia. We also find a similar picture from the increased participation of private organizations in the triple P model. Improved social protection also, district level comparison suggests that the respondents from Purulia district are more in favor of the statement than the respondents from Nadia. Long-term skill training, that's very important. You are skilling them once, they were going back. You are not upskilling them again. So you have taken a skill India program, you have gone to the villages, done some skill-based program, then you are out. Neither you are tracking what is the impact of it, neither you are again visiting the villages and upskilling them. So long-term skill training is very important. Then commercialization of agricultural product, we found these results. Development of the rural infrastructure also. We did a composite score of Nadia and Purulia district on the basis of the 12 variables. The summary of the composite score, basically what we did was the basic formula for index, summation IW by summation W, where W represents value. We use that formula. The summary of the composite score represented in the table 4.33 shows that it is higher for Purulia district in comparison to Nadia. As the respondents shared their perception with regard to the 12 variables, it can be ascertained that the responses of the Purulia district are more favorable. One of the reasons for this kind of favorable response is related to the lack of facilities and the problems that the rural non-farm workers are facing in the backward districts like Purulia. This is the composite score of Nadia and Purulia district on the basis of the 12 variables. Let's now move on to the results. The summary of the results. This work started with the identification of research variables, 12 variables, then access to productive resources. We tested the 3 sets of hypotheses. This is already we have discussed. The implication of the results. I'm quickly taking you to. These are basically the hypothesis results actually. Now, relevance of the study with existing literature. Variables like access to market, access to credit, skill acquisition, commercialization of agricultural products, development of rural infrastructure, and so on, are the important factors that will ultimately determine the quality of employment. So we have referred to also to articles. Now, the managerial implication of the study is unique in the sense that employment generation is always the priority of the government and other stakeholders. There's no doubt about it. But the issue is about quality of employment. We are generating employment, but will the people be able to sustain their family over a long period of time? That is the issue of quality of employment. But the quality of employment in the non-farm sector has never been analyzed in a detailed way. Various skill training programs run by government and private organizations should realize that only providing some sort of training is not sufficient unless it is continuous in nature. You are continuously upgraded, skill upgradation and reskilling should be the priority of different skill-based project implementing agencies. The results also suggest the same. So it has to be a dynamic process, it can't be a static one. These are some of the theoretical implications. The research work is able to redefine the objective that will increase the quality of employment. The workforce should be well educated and should have sufficient skills. NEP is one such mechanism that helps to achieve the desired goal. We have gone through the NEP. The study re-established the fact that access to market and access to credit are the 2 primary areas of concern. Access to market and access to credit. Because these are the people who are almost at a vulnerable level. So we have to provide them the access to credit as well as we have to show them where the market is. The study also observed that the growth of non-farm sector is more in the advanced block and there is a specific reason for it. These sectors are mostly fueled by the growth of the agricultural sector, skill development and education. The combined growth effect down the line helps the growth of the non-farm sector as well. Practical implications. This particular study helps the stakeholders to identify the loopholes in the existing model of the skill training program. It can be seen that continuous skill upgradation training is missing in the present form of the training program. Hence, if the suggestions are accepted, then it will surely help to take necessary actions. The study also helps to identify the potential of non-farm sectors along with farm sectors. Dependence on the farm sector should not be the only employment opportunity. Other income generating opportunities should be created for the new generations. These are some of the social implications. These are some of the major recommendations. These are some of the suggestions for future research. Non-farm sectors growth on economy. Then comparative study between farm and non-farm sector. So now when we are talking about non-farm, diversification has happened. Now you can do a further study on farm compared to non-farm. And also, the third one is very important, restricted migratory movement with the improvement in the non-farm sector. We know that migration happens. Now, the result of the development of the non-farm sector, is it the opposite migration happens? Or is it because the non-farm now not doing? So that can also be a study. Limitations, these were some of the limitations of the study. These are the two published papers that I along with my supervisor madam, both of us published this paper, rural non-farm sector and a comparative analysis of the quality of employment, a pilot study on selected districts of West Bengal, got published in the International Journal of Advanced Military Research. It was in the series. And also we published another paper, a review of literature on rural non-farm employment and quality of employment with special reference to West Bengal. University review that was also in the UGC list. This is my acknowledgement. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to undertake this study. Of course, I'm my supervisor. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to undertake the study at the University of Dhaka. I want to express my sincere regards and gratitude to Professor Wallace-Law, Vice Chancellor, Lead Vice Chancellor of the University of Dhaka. And also, I'm indebted to the President Vice Chancellor for supporting me all through my journey. Furthermore, I'd like to thank my doctoral committee members and my gratitude to other professors and management of the University of Jharkhand, and especially I also thank you who have been knowing me since 2005. Special thanks to my senior colleagues at Viva Business School Head Office for their continuous support and encouragement. I'm very thankful. Indebted to my reporting boss, Dr. Ajay Kumar Bhatta, who is the Senior Director of Viva Business School Kolkata, for inspiring me to complete the research journey. Colleagues, faculty colleagues at the Viva Business School Kolkata also deserve my sincere thanks. Their friendship, assistance, and encouragement has meant more to me than I could ever express. I'm indebted to Dr. Oliver Mongol for his valuable inputs and cooperation in doing my research work. I wish to thank my father, Mr. Shobhit Chakrabarti. I miss my mother, like Dr. Chakrabarti, renowned teacher herself, in the entire journey, and believe that she has always blessed me. Chotodita Dr. Usha has been my inspiration. Special thanks to the villagers for cooperating with me in my data collection process. Special thanks to Mr. Shubham Shubhuya and senior livelihood development officers who have visited the villages with me during the interview process, because I was an outsider, so they helped me a lot for their support and advice in contacting the primary field servant. Last but not least, I'm really indebted to my wife, Chitrita Dr. Chitrita Voce, for her continuous encouragement and guidance, and to my Samprit. So this is all I have to do. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Congratulations on conducting good research work, and along with the help of people that have already been they have been present to us the work which is really required. However, this should not become the end of the research efforts, and postdoctoral research should continue. In order to give you a suggestion, I've seen the lists that you have made for future research. In that, you should always think in terms of what is your contribution to society through those researches. That should be the idea of doing this research. It's more of a descriptive research than anything concrete that will come out. So here we have the option now to find out how to improve the quality non-farm. That you can do research and give a solution that will be very contributive in effort to the society that people will move or unless people know what to do. There is no point in doing this. There is will do that. So that is my suggestion. Definitely from my side, the applications. So
it's really nice for your implementation, and starting presentation with so some of those
who are this person, we will go credit for that. He insisted on.
so for those clarification, two things still I just want to verify one-to-one in that particular circumstance. So there's a clear physical presence in there. So for example, you talked about quality of employment and your entire research is based on quality. But still I am searching what are the parameters to define the quality? Do it relate with the monetary benefit? Do it relate with the passion the person wants to do? Do it relate with the family sustainability? Do it relate with any other factor? Can define the quality of it.
So first you say monetary benefits,
Second, monetary benefit might be one of the. Another is the passion.
Like,
You want to do something and if you are getting opportunity to do the same thing, if you are very satisfied and you feel that you are having a very quality employment. Do it related with the status in society. Or ultimately be related with the sustainability of individual and our family. So I am still searching on this dimension to work on the quality of employment. Because we talk about independent variable in different dimensions, by and large, three dimension you mentioned. But quality of employment remains one single parameter without further development. What's your take?
so definitely, it's a good advice because I didn't think in that way. And also the literature what we refer to actually guided my idea of capturing the quality in such a way. But definitely, sir, we will do that. I will definitely get that.
We see that, seconding to this.
Like,
This is I think it's not the end, it's.
So in fact, so we are again visiting those spaces capture the impact of digital payments. How beneficial of digital payments in the rural non-farm sector. In fact, we are trying to do that.
So whenever you are defining the construct, it's not only the independent variable you need to clarify. It's the dependent variable also need further clarify.
Do that.
Another observation related with your explanation also in terms of why you did work for CFA. CFA, I don't think it's related to the establishment of organization. CFA is by and large validating your EFA fund. So whatever you are validating through content analysis, that is through pre-testing, it is further going to be validated by CFA in terms of conversion validity, integrity, validity, and all discriminant validity. So CFA might be a case you may use in future also. The CFA is pilot testing and pre-testing. Both are different. What do you do? Pilot or
Pilot.
pilot questionnaire was also taken. Questionnaire testing is pre-testing. Okay. Pilot testing is a kind of exploration. Whenever you are establishing those constructs, when you are not very much sure which are going to be your construct, then you conduct a kind of exploratory study through pilot. Okay. So pilot study represents the finding of your research.
So more of the exploration.
So whenever you are in the exploration stage and finding your variables, then you have to conduct the pilots. But when you are already putting your variables in a questionnaire, then checking the content validity, then it's a pre-testing. It's not a pilot. Some of these things which I just want to highlight, even I not agree with your explanation of sensors and parameters. census is a part of your secondary literacy. Absolutely. Census might be providing you a base on which you develop your entire.
Right, sir.
So whenever you conduct the secondary literature review, usually we are having half a dozen or 10 papers which are guiding us to go in certain direction. Right? So we cannot say that those secondary data element or secondary paper as my data element. Okay. So data element remains the primary data. Census is serving the secondary data and its accumulation or combination of different things. Might be census is one of the things which primarily gave you an idea how to do this all the time. But it can't be called as a census. One last thing. Can we generalize this particular finding based on two districts of West Bengal?
As of now, no. As of now, no, because if you search, you will find for West Bengal, I mean, no such work on quality of this RFP has been done. What we are now trying to do is, we are now trying to check in other districts also, where the RFP expenses are high. Now, in some cases, definitely we are trying to test whether these parameters are right or not, or they are coming up with new parameters. So definitely, we are going to do that. So at this moment, generalizing it across West Bengal for all the districts, we are not possible at this second. But we are taking it forward. We are taking it forward. In fact, we're also searching for funds if we can to, because it's a huge work.
Because it's a very, I must congratulate you and not on that particular aspect. We choose a little bit different kind of a topic where people are usually not paying great attention.
Actually, sir, in 2002, it gave me very reaction. 3 months, they have to pay that. 2,600, 2,200. If they are doing such a good job, the entire family was involved. They used to stay in a very house. Then what is the quality? And they're doing that for years of the generation of the village.
So if you want to extend it further and just try to explore the possibilities, whether it can be generalized, because if you are making it in a very great extent, and it's a good input for the government departments, maybe state and central level.
For example, they will now go to other districts also. They are going to plan.
So that will be a real value addition for the government agencies. So nice. Some of my observation I was. I don't know about the procedure. Now it is. Yes. We have seen the progress. We have seen that's so that we have prepared it. This is a good thing, and it's a good sign that it's such a speaker. Such one. And a lot of insight we are getting into certainly there are certain questions how to be understand. On the answer immediately. Like the question was asked, what do you define? So it's really general term, but how do you define? So there is certainly define how to define the topic of that. Similarly, you also talk about access to trading. So are you talking about the entrepreneur or the identify? So access to market. So I'm talking about employment, you're talking about integrating. But then this is disturbed in the farm sector, can't sense in the employment ownership. So that kind of thing is at the end. So we further more research will be done in this future research. So more clarity will be brought out. It's really especially seeing that stone of people that artificial covers and employee because when it is artisans, then they are the masters and they are the
basically the century itself. Because you're also talking about the product and sources, access to product and sourcing. So for some time I thought we would be talking about that. It is only like this, like those people asking to have so really, I think this so open. For the questions and one, I get up and maybe a research. Sydney, it's good work. It's good to see. Thank you, and I think the challenge for the beginning is our consensus to get. And it's on the leaders. What you guys, you found out in terms of
Purulia is high in terms of rural informal activities. Than Nadia, but the quality is better in terms of Nadia than so those factors were all very relevant. But access to market access. Next year, what we are planning is similar district. So I will be knowing and all of people is Bakura, where again this Bakura city is very popular, and also they make some metal products. So we are planning to go there and the thing is clear about pilot study and field testing. So we will definitely first do a pilot study, explore it, then again we visit and do the field testing. To find out whether similar incidents are happening in Pune and Bakura. These are all little bit irrigation drive, so finding out whether that is also.
The reason for more difference.
Those things are like captured in the hypothesis. But definitely what Sarah has definitely advised, more parameters to be.
The continuity of regular water system that you are taking regular or that water system. So that also should be.
Yes. And that will also impact the soil.
So you have captured.
No, not only analysis. I have captured rural non-farm workers defined by message, includes construction workers, local non-farm missionary workers. Not only, I'll give an example of artisans to that.
But there are construction workers are quite high in the market.
This happens in the urban sector. I'm talking about rural sector.
What is the percentage
in the Navila, it's 275 only. It is 275 part. In the urban sector, in Kolkata, they get 275 in the rural sector. Actually, they get almost like Kolkata, they get around 600. I stopped. So, congratulations, Dr. Samprit. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to take the opportunity.
I never met you, but I just meant that you are guiding this and congratulations goes to you. It's really a proud moment for that.
Both the farmers being good, sir, and obviously something that is hard work. Nothing
Thank you so much.
without
Thanks for your guidance.
So I hope that further